My name is Gregory Wilson, and I'm here to teach you how to take your cards out for a spin. Now that I've got your attention, I'm going to show you how all of this was originated. It started with me doing this. This was kind of a nervous habit. I used to just do this all the time. It wasn't even that spectacular. I'd get a full rotation. Then I thought to myself, what if I were to put some kind of pin or peg on the bottom of the pack? And I tried that and only went, well, the exact same length or distance. So then I tried it on my forefinger, and literally the very first try, I got about 10 seconds. I freaked out. Oh my gosh. I looked around. All my friends were in the other room. I freaked myself out. It was only for me. Then when they came back in the room, I showed them how it worked. And they were just as impressed with the gimmick as they were the effect. And as you can see, this is very prototypical right now. It's got all the measurements and everything in there. But when it's all said and done, the peg or the pin will be micro-welded in there. It'll look really professional, and this will be actually stainless steel. And you use this as a template to push straight up, and it gets dead center, exactly where it needs to be. I'll give you all the physics on that later. But also there's a half moon cutout, which allows you to remove the cards and leave the gimmick behind. Or if you put it in this way into the box, it allows you to remove the cards and the gimmick at the same time, so you're left clean. I'll give you lots of details on the physics later, a handful of tricks you can do with it, or you can use it just as a flourish to show off like the little move monkey that you are. You know, this is one of those effects or stunts that I wish I had some great stories or anecdotes, but frankly, it's brand new. I thought of this like 2 months ago. This is one of the few things that I have an audience tested over 1,000 performances. But what's really exciting for me is the fact that I can finally do a spin as opposed to my incompetence with one card, and I'm going to prove that right now. I've always wanted to learn this, but as you can see, I can only get about, oh, come on, that's like a record for me. That is crazy. So you can combine this single card with Revolution with a full pack, and I've got some routines with that. In fact, Michael Weber's got a great routine with that. Or you can do this singularly, you can do this singularly, put it all together. It's up to you. A whole lot of Revolution going on. Okay, the single most crucial factor to getting a true spin is to find the true center of the box. With bicycle playing cards, there's a circle in the design. That's exactly where the peg goes. Sometimes it goes a little bit higher, sometimes it goes a little bit lower. You have to experiment because USPCC doesn't have a 100% true consistency with the construction of their boxes. So the way to do that is you take the cards out first, you get your gimmick, you put it all the way to the end, like this, and sometimes you can push straight through. But what I like to do, when I say push straight through, I mean pushing the peg through the box. I like to push it all the way to the end, and pull back a little bit. I use 2 fingers to do it. I just kind of adjust it, and I go back like a millimeter or 2, and I just kind of feel through here. With using this finger, I can feel about where that bump is, and boom, I push right through. And in this case, I got it. It's exactly in the center. So you take the gimmick, push it all the way in, pull it back just a little bit, boom. That's the first way. Next way, push it all the way in, pull it back just a little bit, pull it back just a little bit, punch it through, and there it is right there. You can see it right there. Sometimes, again, you might have to pull back a little bit, but for the most part, it's dead center. And when I say for the most part, you can't rely on for the most part. It has to be crucially in the middle. So if you want to practice, use the other side as well. That way you don't go through as many boxes. So push up through there, push all the way to the end, pull back a little bit, pierce through the box. You can see the peg right there, and you can practice on both sides. When you insert the box, it's very important that you put the gimmick in first, followed up by the cards. If you try to put it all in at once, it's going to get stuck. It won't work. Now, sometimes I leave the gimmick in all the time. Just tape it in and paint or put a little bit of card box here, so it's white the whole time. So if somebody looks in the box, they're only going to see, all white. So sometimes I leave it in, sometimes I take it out with a joker on the gimmick instead of all white. So you can use it any way that you want, close everything up, and you're good to go. So next to practice, where you put this is extremely, extremely, extremely important. So just think true center, and you're good to go. Okay, here it is, very important. The perfect spin is based on the physics of stability and velocity. Too little velocity, the box will actually wobble and fall, but too much velocity, it will spin off its axis. So, to get a perfect balance between the two, just think angular momentum. The mass of the box times the force applied to the box, or Newton's first law of motion, that any object will remain in motion unless interrupted by an outside force. It's that simple. So, having said that, if you break it down into smaller bite-sized chunks, this will be a lot easier to remember and make you an experienced spinner. So here it is, a few simple steps. So, start with the box on the first finger of your dominant hand. Find the perfect balance point of the peg on that fingertip. Point your finger upward with your elbow slightly bent at about 110 degrees, putting the box at about chest level. Before you attempt the spin, visualize the axis of rotation being as tight and vertical as possible to avoid any unsteadiness. Then give a quick flick of the wrist like this towards yourself while thinking speed and balance. And finally, to ensure extended balance during the spin, calculate the force of the friction between your finger and the box for maximum acceleration, rotational energy, angular velocity, stabilized equilibrium, and of course, gyroscopic stability. It's that simple. And of course, in the background, it helps if you got yourself a little sweet Georgia brown. Okay, let's talk about the finger placement itself. If you get a close-up, you can see exactly where I like to put it. It's not on the nail. It's not under the nail bed. It's towards the tip and a little bit towards me. All right? That's where I like to have it. You can put it directly on top of the fingertip if that works for you. That still works right here. Completely works, but for some reason, I like my finger slightly angled. So if I angle it like that, that puts it exactly in that hole. And by the way, why is there a hole? From repetition, from lots of practice, from doing it over and over again. In fact, if it doesn't hurt, you probably didn't do it right. You got to keep doing it until your fingers bleed. All right. Sound like a Marine. Drum, give me 20. Let's go. Hut two, double time. And when you spin it, it actually fits perfectly right in that hole, creating a deeper hole. So there you have it. That is the finger placement. All right, let's get in really tight now so you can see that actual hole in my finger. That should be the giveaway. I've got a hole right there, having practiced this over and over and over and over again. So you can put it there. You can put it here on the very tip. You can go right here where there's a callus just under your nail, whatever you prefer. I like it over here where that hole is because I like to tilt it at a slight angle. That works perfectly for me. And you can use any finger that you want, by the way. When I was in Hawaii, a friend of mine, Kakoa, suggested using the pinky so you get the brada spin. Yo brada. So you can do that one. You can do a middle finger. Let's try this. You can get a, oh, this is a heckler spin, yeah? Huh? You want some of that? Huh? Mr. Unruly Spectator? Or you could do a, the thumb. Let me try that. I've never done that. Like this. Oh, that works. That totally works. So that's the hitchhiker position. And it doesn't matter which finger you use, just make sure that they bleed. If there's no blood, you didn't do it right. For maximum acceleration of the cards, you want to actually make sure that they're squared up. Because you want to keep the circle as tight as possible. To do that, I keep them right here in horizontal level. Give them one little push. It's that simple. And now everything's nice and tight. The circle in the middle is as tight as possible. And it will spin, of course, now, as long as possible. So just remember to keep the cards completely square. For actual stability, to keep everything spinning as long as possible, don't start here, end here. I actually start down here about waist level, like this. And once I know I've got a good spin, and that's not a perfect spin, there's a little bit of a wobble there, so I would just keep it there. If I know I've got a good spin, like that, oh, that's a good one. Now I can come up over here and keep that spinning almost as long as possible. Talk, talk, talk. Look as cool as possible. Look people right in the eye. Don't even pay attention to what you're doing. You're just Mr. Casual about the whole thing. Then take the cards out of the box and continue with what you continue with. Here's a question I'm not even sure how to answer. It's about readjustment. So when I'm spinning it, do you keep your hand in one place, people say? Kinda, but there's some teeny tiny little readjustments because I'm feeling the box itself touching my fingertip. If it touches over here on my right side too much, I move this way. If I feel it dragging too much on the left side, I turn this way. So I guess the best way to say it is, it's all about feel. You'll just know. And that really only happens after about 5, 6, 7 seconds. Once you get that amount of spin going, that's when you just try to adjust it just to keep it up there as long as possible. It's just micro adjustments. And when it's all said and done, make sure you also compensate for the rotational effect of the Earth on a 23.5 degree orbital axis of the polar Arctic region. Svoden. Right there, huh? Huh? Okay, that's close-up pad. Let's get a little Francis Carlyle book in there. Huh? Huh? Boom. Proof that I'm not real bright. This is my computer, which is why I'm concentrating a little bit. That's good enough. Huh? Huh? Oh, shoot, really? I've never done this. Oh, come on. You know what? I really have never done this before. You gotta look cool when you do it, huh? Yeah? Any questions? Anybody? Where could this ever be done in the real world besides this? Keller never looked so good. All right, that's that. And, no. Come on. It's already crap in it. Isn't that what IKEA means? Do-it-yourself crap. Here goes. You gotta be kidding me! Working without a net. Speaking of balance, here's a good way to freak out the director and the cinematographer at the same time. He's freaking out right now. He can't actually look. It's a $5,000 camera!
Oh my God.
Regarding practice, I suggest that. Practice as much as possible. But when you do practice, do it over a bed or a couch to break the fall for 2 reasons. Number one, you don't want to actually bend the peg, even though it's welded in there firmly. And also, you don't want to wear the box out, because the more you drop it, the more that hole expands. It gets a little bit larger each time, and then the box actually starts to wobble. You want that hole, it's just like an ice skater. You want to keep everything as tight as possible, right? So when it spins, it's a small circle. Also, for practice purposes, have the hole on both sides. So when this one wears out, put it on this side so you don't have to keep replacing boxes all the time. Now, regarding expectations, let me just say this. I've been spinning things forever. I've been spinning Frisbees and basketballs and anything I can get my hands on forever. So literally, I got really lucky. The very first time I did this, within 10 minutes. I mean, I should say I got a 10-second spin the very first try. Again, very lucky. It doesn't happen every time. Now, this is important. Don't overspin. Start very simple like this and only go a little bit. Only go a little bit. Now, you can see it's a little bit wobbly, but you're going to work your way up and get more velocity. I could have gone a little bit more than that, but if you spin too much, look at this. it's going to spin right off its axis point. Right there was perfect. That was just enough, maximum acceleration before it flies off its axis. Also, regarding expectations, I'd say if you're athletically inclined, it should take no more than an hour to get this to a maximum efficiency. And if you're, a magician, did I say that out loud? It should take you, I don't know, about a week tops. But think about most magicians who spin a card. I can't spin a card that well, a single card on my finger to this day. If you can spin a card and it took you, a month? This should take you about a week. So I'm going on and on and on. The point is just practice and minimize the damage of the gimmick and the box, and you're ready to go. Regarding the starting position for the practice, I'm going to give you the details, but first, think of it like a backswing in golf. You only want to go a little bit first, and with more practice, like Tiger Woods, he gets way up here. His backswing is way up here, and he's got so much more momentum on his downswing. Same thing here with the pack of cards. You want to start here. With a little bit more practice, you can start here. Think of that as your backswing. So right now, look, just a little bit momentum. But with more practice, you can get way out here and you get more spin. But only start here to begin with, or it's going to fly off the peg. So right about like that. Look how much more velocity you can get with that one. So there you go. So again, just start with that little position and you are good to go. Go Tiger. All right, here's some practice tips that I think are actually pretty important to accelerate your learning curve. For starters, I hate to use the word hole. You're not going to jam the peg in your finger to create a hole. We'll call it a dent, a divot. There you go, a divot. That prevents the cards from flying off. If the peg has got a good indentation in your finger, when you first start it, even after practicing, I should say, in performance, I want to give it a good push. And if it doesn't hurt, you didn't do it right. Actually, you're not going to penetrate the skin. You're not going to bleed all over the audience, but just give it a good push. You're going to feel it. It's not too painful, just a good push. And it allows the peg to have a good area in which it turns. The rotation or the axis point is very sturdy now. Also, I should mention, I do sometimes put the peg between my fingernail in that little callus area, just like this. So sometimes I put it on my finger, sometimes I actually push it right there. And it gives it less surface contact with my finger, so it actually spins a little bit longer. If I want this to go a good 20 seconds without abrading against my finger, that's my secret. So that's the first one. I should also mention, if the post or peg is longer, because you didn't put the joker in there to shorten the length of the peg, I need to hide it. So there's two ways to hide it. I can either keep it down here low and not bring it up to eye level, and it spins a lot longer. So that's one way to do it. Holy cow, I love it when it does that. So that's one way. Or you're going to put the peg on this part of the finger right here, right about there, because that's the meatiest part of the finger, and it completely envelops the peg. So it won't last as long because your fingertip is pushing up slightly. It's sliding against the box, but it's completely hidden. So I'll lose about 5 seconds, but it's completely hidden right now. Again, because it's in that meaty part of my finger, you shouldn't see the post at all. If I did it the way I normally do, and it's off to the side right here, you will see the post. That's an important point about why it went at an angle. I'll show you in a second. Right there, you should see the post right now in a bad way. You don't want to see that. Now notice how it's a little bit angled like this. It's a little bit wobbly. The reason for that is because it should start parallel. Very important point. Think parallel. When you spin it or snap your wrist, don't snap it here because it'll never go back to parallel again. You want to start here, think parallel, and give it a good snap. And when you do it, see, that's perfect. That right there is perfect. And you can make a few slight adjustments. You can show off a little bit, actually. Watch the show-off part. That's not the show-off part. Here's the show-off part. You can go this way, you can go this way, you can go back and forth a few times. But when you do this, 2 important points. Number 1, think parallel, but also think tight circles like an ice skater. I'm thinking about the middle circle right now. If there were 2 imaginary circles, one on the outside and one on the inside, think inside, like an ice skater. An ice skater has his or her arms close and tight to their body when they spin for that, to keep the axis of rotation as tight as possible to prevent the wobbles. Because you want to get all of that acceleration thinking inside. Think inside, and that will allow it to stay up there as long as possible. And that right there, bada bing, bada boom, are, I can't quit early, I love it. Boom, those are the practice tips. Here's an additional tip to enhance your spinning. First of all, don't think aggressive. You want to be as soft as possible, give it a light little spin, get it in your muscle memory, that's pretty important. And then in time, you can be a little bit more assertive. Not aggressive, assertive, because you don't want it to fly off of its pivotal point, its axis point. Now, having said that, while you're thinking about the horizontal axis, keeping everything as parallel as possible, when you snap your wrist, notice my thumbs leave at the exact same time. It's not that thumb or that thumb first. Notice they both leave at the exact same time. That enhances the fact that everything stays nice and parallel to the floor. And that is the hot tip. And I've got to tell you something else. It's a warning. I'm telling you in advance, when you start this, you can't stop. You're going to be addicted. It's like a crack addict. You're going to keep doing it until it's completely perfected, and you can get 15 seconds. You get 20, that's about as far as I've gotten. But if you get that, then you can practice a lot less. And the good news for me is I'm down to 2 packs a day. Once you become advanced, an experienced spinner, if you will, and the thing starts to slow down on you, you can actually spin it a little bit longer like a basketball with these little slaps of your finger. Very slight, but swift, just like that. I'm barely touching the outside right there. Well, think of it like, a love tap. Bam! She deserved it. Okay, here's a really important teaching technique with Chris Oberly. Everybody, Chris, everybody.
Hello.
It's a technique called via negativa, which means through the negative. It means it's a teaching technique, so you learn what to do and, more importantly, what not to do. So don't take this the wrong way, but you're going to be bad. Okay? So this is a way to hurry up and get the bad out of the way. So it's an accelerated learning process. So if I just said to you, or Chris, just do this. What the heck does this mean? I've got so many ideas in here and so many little techniques and micro movements that he's not going to pick up on it. So I'm going to allow him to try it, and I'm going to say no, wrong, bad, this way, that way, and you're going to learn from that as well. So obviously, we're using a couch for the reason that if it falls on the floor, the pin could break, or the box would get worn out too soon. You'd have to start all over again. So he's going to do it right over here, as far over as possible. And again, this is his very first try. So stop.
Yep.
Right already. I'm just going to say stop each time and tell you exactly what I think might be the wrong thing. So, well, he's doing it right now.
Yeah.
Good. So he's pinching or pushing the pin to create a little indentation. Again, you're too far over here. Good. Now do it way over here. Give it a spin. Okay, now he went the wrong way. I'm really glad he did this for the first time. He went this way. You went clockwise. Go counterclockwise, and always remember to do it over here so it doesn't fall.
So counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. Okay. Do it again.
Balance.
You got a good indentation.
Go.
Now here's what was wrong that time. You didn't have the horizontal axis. You kind of started like this.
Right, diagonal.
Well, actually, you did start like that. Then when you finally went into it, you either did this or this. So think
Yeah.
straight the entire time. Okay. And notice where my forefinger is. That's the actuating mechanism. The thumb's parallel here. The thumb's parallel here. You're going to let go with the thumbs at the exact same time.
All right.
I can't let it go to waste. I'm sorry. I can't stop until it wants to stop. Okay.
But I really want to keep trying because like it's kind of
You're going to get
kind of
hooked. I'm telling you in advance.
And I'm going to try it a little slower this time. So.
And that's okay to go slow because you're going to create some muscle memory, just a little bit at a time. This could be really boring or really fascinating. I'll let you be there. Hey, where'd you go? Come back. It's okay. Good. Now tell me what you're feeling when you do it. Pain?
Yeah, a little pain.
Okay. Look at the camera.
Maybe if I kind of feel like. So I started at this position right here.
What's that mean?
Right where the hole is right here.
Okay.
Or indentation, but I kind of feel like changing positions.
Okay, experiment.
So,
do that right now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
We're gonna try to keep this as brisk as possible.
So I'm gonna go a little bit
more towards
here.
The center now.
Yeah, more towards the center. So
instead of off, askew to the side.
Yeah. So here we go.
All right.
Just a little
Now
bit.
you have the thumb. Do it again. Do it again. Let me show you something. You never have to look. You can always just feel. Now look where he's got his thumb. Stop. Don't move. Put your thumb back. No, you had your thumb here. That's fine. Look where you got your thumb over there. That might work for you. Eventually, I've got to say, you're going to do what works for you. You won't do it my way. So he had his thumb here. What I do, though, is I have my thumb here and here for stability. Then I let go with the thumbs
With both.
at the same time. But again, you might find what works best for you. I'm just teaching you what I do.
So the first finger,
Yes?
you turn it.
Yep. And you're not just turning it. Look, you're not just trying to do an arbitrary turn. You're snapping it. It's got to be not a lazy turn, but it's just a quick boom, like this.
When you start it, you start exactly like this, and then you go up.
And then I go up. So I start here. Good point. I start here just for that stability. And then I eventually go up. I start here. And then I eventually go up. And you can turn like this a little bit just to show off.
Okay.
Like this. And then bam.
All right.
Okay.
So there we go.
Well, you're asking advanced questions.
Try.
This is okay.
Just want to get there.
Yeah. You know what?
Wasn't balanced.
Think tight circle. Think about that center.
Circle. Okay.
Don't think about the outside. Just think that only that right there is spinning. And all the other stuff on the outside is extra. It's all peripheral. The outside is all peripheral. You're only thinking center.
Okay. So center. Here we
Yeah.
go. So
You're thinking parallel. It's like golf. You
Yeah.
can only think one or two swing thoughts at the same time. So you're thinking parallel access, and you're thinking quick snap.
okay.
There. That was a little better. Your thumbs came off
Yeah.
at a different time, though. Thumbs come
go.
off same time. Give it a twist.
Straight.
Already,
almost
but now
got it.
think about this, though. He actually got the feel for it in, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's less. Yeah.
So if you didn't have the pressure of the hot floodlights, the cameraman going,
Right.
"Are you kidding me? What is with that guy?"
Yeah.
He's thinking it. Look, he's not saying it. But if you're doing it at your house for like, a few hours, once you start to bleed, you know you got it.
Right.
So just do it like one more minute's worth of stuff.
Okay. So
Once you get the muscle memory, you're going to keep repeating the same right things and eliminating the wrong things.
I almost got
Okay.
it. It wasn't. I feel like it wasn't straight.
And don't do what's called a padiddle, like with a frisbee or
Right.
something like
So-
that. You're not doing this. You're holding your firm. Listen very carefully. Hold that finger very firm. Very firm. Not a lazy kind of thing. Your wrist is firm, your elbow's firm, your finger's firm, and boom. This moves around, or not around, on that firm finger, like this. Now you can move it. By the way, sometimes I like to do this with my elbow, like, oh, this is difficult, right? I don't want them to think that it's a gimmicked box that happens to have a little metal device in it with a peg. So instead of that, if they got a little suspicious, when I spin it, I actually, well, kind of like I said, whoa, like it's difficult, but notice when I do that, the finger's still firm.
Right.
That's still firm. Otherwise, if I do that, it's going to fall.
Right.
But everything else can move around it. Okay. Circle. Look at that. That was actually pretty good. Now, also, you started here.
Right.
Maybe if you start here and just give it a short
So
instead of way over here.
Yeah.
Instead of a big John Daly, Tiger Woods wind up like way over
Right.
here, just come to here like a half swing.
Okay. So I was.
That was
going
a
like
golf thing.
This. Yeah. So I was going like this. So I'm gonna try it this time.
Like people don't know who Tiger Woods is.
Yeah. I saw him on the news. So here you go.
He's the guy with the girls.
Yeah.
Just give it a quick spin, but a half, swing.
Nope.
And get your right thumb off quicker.
Yeah.
Already good. And you know why? Your finger was firm too.
Yeah.
Do it again. Just a half swing again, just to get that muscle memory going.
Nope,
You're going to do one more, and we're going to... See, now look, you had a good spin, but it started to go off its axis. Once it goes off its axis, it'll never get back again.
Right, okay.
But you can readjust it just a little bit. Let me show you what I mean. So it's a little bit off. I can readjust a little bit, but it'd be hard to ever get back to parallel.
Okay.
So look, that right there is by far the single most boring part of this entire video. It has nothing to do with him. It has to do with the teaching technique, but I think it's valuable. Tell them what you think you learned in the readjustments.
I learned a lot. So, so the first time I tried it in one position on my finger, and I didn't feel like that was quite right.
Didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I didn't
in the
feel
balance?
comfortable with that. Yeah, with the balance. So I moved it, and then I also learned I was winding up too much.
Way too far over.
Yeah, way too far over, and I had to shorten that out.
Okay.
So I think by the time I repositioned it, and I didn't have as much as a wind up, I brought that down a little bit. I felt a little bit more comfortable with that, but I also feel like, you know, if I had another 5 minutes, I think I would be able to.
And that's just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, people spend hours, days, weeks,
Right.
months learning one single card. This is the perfect candidate for something like this. They're willing to put in the requisite practice time. You know what we're going to do too? I'm going to let him play with this for a few hours. We're going to come back to this exact spot, and he's going to be going dun 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 dun, or Sweet Georgia Brown.
Yeah.
How does that go?
Yeah, it's great.
Give me a Sweet Georgia Brown. We'll end on that.
I don't know.
Somebody, give me here a whistle from somebody. Cameraman, anybody, Jason. That's the part where we're going to get sued. All right, thank you guys very much. Chris, Greg, and that's the accelerated learning curve. Okay, here we are, exactly and honestly, 1 hour later. He's nervous.
I got it, though.
He's nervous. Let me tell you why he's nervous. He says, I want to get this the very first try. You don't get a second chance for a first impression. 1 hour later, here's his learning curve.
I'm just saying Greg's going down.
First try.
First try,
And he's doing it standing. It's easier standing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did have to take my shirt off before because
Okay, I wasn't here when he did that. You meant your jacket.
But my pants.
That. He's doing it still over the, he's still got a safety net.
Yeah.
First try, big moment. Look at that. Come on.
Go.
Come on.
Nuts.
Come on without looking.
Go.
First freaking try. Okay, so that was about 8 seconds.
8 seconds. I did get.
What's my record, by the way?
20, but
20 what?
20 seconds.
21?
21?
21 seconds. So that's another point, by the way. Get a timer. Get a timer and kind of challenge yourself to see if you can get a little bit more each time.
Yeah. And a couple things. The flicking for me was kind of hard because at first when I was doing
The motive power.
Yeah, so when I was doing it, I was kind of going kind of slow. I was going really slow, and my finger was right here.
As opposed to
Right
here. And that made it easier?
That made it a lot easier.
Okay.
Because you can get more
torque.
Torque out of the spin.
We call it rotational energy.
Yeah. But normies, those normies. So
just think second law of motion, Newton's second law of motion. Any object will remain in motion unless interrupted by an outside force.
I was never good.
Or is that the first law?
I wasn't good at science, but okay. So, but the corner,
Yeah.
and a little bit wind up. Got my fingers in place.
When you say wind up, do you go boom boom or no? Or you just start from there?
I think I do.
Okay.
I think I do. So watch.
Maybe do it. Look at this. Look at this. Now he does something I don't do. In fact, he does better than I do. I suggest staying here. In this, he's already better than me. Stay right here low, and then come up if you need to. Mm-hmm. He goes like, I can't even do it actually. Do what you do.
Straight. So you're saying I go straight up?
You go
Position.
all in one motion from starting position to ending position, and that's easier for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Try it down here.
So I'm gonna try it down here. And when I was practicing, I was going like this.
What does
first.
going mean?
I was spinning it slow, and I was getting the balance on my finger, getting used to it at first.
Which is good.
Yeah. And
They're
then,
incremental.
Yeah, and then slowly, after I took this shirt off, and I was hot,
and I started going up like this. So
He had a Superman
yeah,
shirt under
Superman
that
shirt.
one.
So I started going slow. I got the balance of the whole thing, and then
We saw him over the hour, just going, whoa, you got to do that on
I was
film.
running around the studio, and then I'd see when I got a good one, I'd look at Greg as he was sitting over there. I was like,
Yeah, I saw that one.
But yeah, so
See, that's great. And notice his finger is very stable. Very important. It's not all squishy and washy, wobbly. It's just like, it's not that way. It's not that. It stays perfectly straight.
yeah, and for me, that's where. And
If you get a close up on his finger,
you could really see my finger.
you see an indentation there.
It's a little discolored.
So you can obviously see
Stuff,
where it's
so,
at.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple other points that I wrote down here. Don't straighten your finger too fast. So what I mean by that is, I keep my finger slightly curved here, like this, and then I'll straighten it. Do you straighten it quickly?
I think I go straight. I think I go straight into it. So right now my finger is a little bent, and when I spin it, didn't get it.
Then it straightens. By the way, he didn't drop it that much. I wasn't watching for the last hour, but how many times did you drop it on the couch in an hour?
Maybe 20 times.
20 times. So you didn't
Yeah.
try to overspin. Because when you overspin,
Yeah.
that could fall off its axis.
And there was a time so Greg was sitting over there, and I kind of drifted a little bit away from the couch, and you were like,
Get back.
"Get back," because there was one time you're telling me the story about one time.
I dropped it once, and it hit my travertine floor, which is really hard, and it bent it was a prototype, so it wasn't as strong. It wasn't welded. And it broke. Literally, the first time I dropped it, it broke, and I went, I'll never do that again. So I practiced over the couch.
So I got a little bit too comfortable, and I started walking over here.
We call that
But,
cocky.
Yeah,
but
I was starting. Yeah, and you even said you're getting a little cocky.
yeah.
Get over a gear.
But guess what? That made you more comfortable.
Right. Yeah. So there were times, too, sitting down, I felt a little weird, so I stood up, and I felt a little bit
It's
more comfortable.
easier for you standing.
Yeah, for stand. Yeah.
What did you trim your nail or
Yeah, I trimmed my
filed
nail.
or?
Yeah, I filed my nail down a little bit because I thought my nails were a little bit too long. And
Too much friction on the
I felt like
box?
when I had the box right here, I felt like my nail was rubbing onto.
Slowing it down or making it wobble or both?
Slowing it down, and I think making it wobble.
Okay.
But another thing too is when you spin it, you could feel when you get a good spin, you won't feel the what was your word for it? When you kind of feel like the box is moving back and forth a little bit.
It's just rotating.
Yeah.
Well, here's an important point, which you made me think of. I always square up first
Yeah.
because you don't want some of the cards that way, maybe some of the cards that way.
So if they're not squared up, the box would kind of when you spin it, you kind of feel the box.
There's an instability
Yeah.
because the circles aren't tight. You want to think middle, the middle,
Yeah.
a really tight circle in there,
Right.
and you can't let it go. Like if I stopped right now and did this, oh, see, that so bothers me because
There
I
were
can't.
times when I was doing it.
Yeah, he would do this, he'd get a good spin and go like that. No, what are you doing? You got to let it go to its completion here. And the only reason that's falling off its axis, I'm a little bit more aggressive. And I have a tendency to want to get this maximum spin. You know, I would try to get 20 seconds every time.
Right.
Now, I got to mention this as well. People might think that if you go over 10 seconds that it's a gimmick box. It's a gimmick somehow, some way, because you're not supposed to be able to do that.
Right.
So you've got to really decide what kind of, performer you are, what kind of stunt man you are. Are you the guy who's like, oh my gosh, look at that, oh, look at that, and you get like 6 seconds and it's pretty cool? Or the guy is a little bit more like this and you do it without looking at them? I don't play cards much, but when I do, and by the way, I can feel when it's about to wobble and stop and then look cool at you.
And when we went out the other night, and you were doing this, I was operating camera, and you weren't even. It wasn't even showing. You weren't even showing anybody.
Oh, just kind of
Yeah,
just
you
doing
kind
it,
of just
standing there.
He was just kind of like playing around. So
And
he was
peop-
doing it, and you could see the people behind Greg saying, like, I might have to do a little blur out thing on my mouth, but he was
Yeah.
like, holy. So, but
I mean, it's something that, I mean, it's a very like showy thing, and I think when people see it,
Dude, you're doing it without even thinking about it now. Da, 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 da. Oh, another thing too, control and duration. In the beginning, you're going to try to get that as long as you can go. You're going to try to get the 10 plus seconds. Then when you get really good, think duration and control. Because you want to be that as stable as possible. In fact, interestingly, they're inextricably woven together. If you're controlled, then it will give you duration. Right. So think duration. I just wrote duration and control. How many drops? I asked you that. Square the cards up. We talked about that. What is this one? Push hard then harder? What does that mean? Push? Oh yeah, that's it. To get the indentation, you push and you know where it's at, then you give it one last little push for that pain threshold. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't want to keep saying that it hurts when you do it, but
it stings. It's really not that bad. You're not gonna push it in and like start bleeding everywhere. So one thing that you can kind of compare the pain to is kind of like when you're playing a guitar. So you kind of get those calluses, and if you play it enough, you feel the pain,
and you feel less after one time.
And so after, I mean, it doesn't even.
So we're going to end it right here. Where do you think you'll be in a week? Like you probably get an extra 5 seconds and have more control and more consistency. You're going to try to go past me? Is that what you're?
I'm saying I'm going for 25. I'm going for 25.
You guys decide. You try it yourself. You're going to get hooked. You go 20 plus. You're in the experienced spinner club. We'll end on that note. Boom.
That's good.
Okay, the big question at this point is when. When do you do the spin? I say beginning, middle, or end. You can do it at the very beginning of a trick to grab people's attention and sustain their interest. You walk up to a group of people. It could be in a formal show like at the close-up gallery at the Magic Castle, or you walk up to a group of people and just start spinning the cards. You don't have to say a thing. Take the cards out of the box, put them away. You're off and running, whatever your approach line is at this point. The middle is the trick that's provided with the gimmick. And there's several tricks there. Create your own trick, whatever it is, but do it in the context of a trick. Lastly, at the very end, when you're all finished, you put the cards away and just thank everybody. You guys were great. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Take care. Drive safely. Tip your bartender. Thank you very much. And then put the cards away, and you're good to go. So there you have it. I'm curious what you come up with as well for your beginning, middle, and end. But in a nutshell, that's how you use revolution, or I should say that's when you use revolution. Instead of doing a flourish for flourish's sake and looking like you're showing off, give it some kind of contextual reason in your presentation. For example, if I do a fancy butterfly cut or a Sybil cut, I might say something like, here's how not to play poker. Here's what you don't do before you deal cards. It's a good way to scare off the competition. Same thing with the spin. So I would spin it and say, this is what you don't do before you play poker. Something like that. Or I don't play cards much, but when I do, I prefer bicycle. So when you do something like that, it emphasizes the flourish or the spin without making you look like the show-off that you are. So how to be a show-off without looking like one. If I were to give you a close-up on the peg itself, look very closely at that. You can see it's the perfect length. It's the perfect ideal height, I should say, for spinning it for maximum acceleration. That said, if you want to make sure that it doesn't flash, instead of grinding down the pin, take a playing card and put it over or on the pin itself. So notice there's a half moon cutout to match the gimmick. Place that perfectly aligned, top and bottom, vertical and horizontal. Give it a push or a punch, and you've just used the gimmick itself as a template to make sure that's exactly dead center. Having said that, now you can use double stick tape to make sure this stays in place, or leave it exactly exactly where it's at. Now, there's a little bit of a compromise. So there's a cost-benefit analysis. You have to ask yourself, is it more important to get maximum acceleration with a longer post, Or do I want to be more concealing, more secretive, and have a shorter post? But if you do that, there's going to be a little bit more drag and less coefficiency. So having said that, those are the questions you have to ask yourself. The best way to conceal the gimmick is to have it hidden in plain sight, just like that. This is 2 playing cards sandwiching the gimmick on the inside, glued or taped, but very important that you glue it all the way down or tape it all the way down. Right now, I'm just showing you that there's a little bit of a separation. So there should be 0 separation when you do it. So additionally, it's not just good for concealing, it's also good for afterwards you get an effect out of it. So you can spin the card as well. So you take the cards out of the box, you remove the gimmicked joker out of the box, the sandwich joker out of the box, and you can just put it away. Put it in your pocket, leave it on the table if you want. In fact, if you put the peg next to the joker the way I did it, they won't even see the peg. I think it's best just to put it away in the box. But right now, this will keep going. I could talk senseless babble, idle chatter, irrelevant word waves, incomplete gibberish, nonsensical blather. The thing still goes on and on and on and on. And that's not a bad effect in and of itself. So I like the idea of spinning the box, removing the cards, spin the joker, say whatever you need to say, then do a card trick after you put this away. So that's the performance of it. This part, I think, is fairly important, even though it's patently obvious, and you'll figure this out on your own through common sense. When you have the gimmick in, followed by the cards, then you do your spin with the box, blah, 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 talk, 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 check, check, check. Take the cards out of the box without pulling here, because that's the joker itself. You have to dump it out like this first, remove all of the other cards, then pop this out, remove this, and you're good to go. So just start spinning. Oh, very important when you spin, notice that came off its axis. You got to pinch it, thumb on top, finger below, and give it a good push. If you didn't push hard enough, you know, if it doesn't hurt, you didn't push hard enough. You got to give it a good push to create a little dimple in your forefinger, and then you can give it a spin. It's like in a nice little gully right now. And because there's a lot less friction here than there is with a box, this will spin, I don't know, 60 seconds if you want. Stop early, stop late. I just think it's funny if you just keep talking as you're doing it. It's like, have a nice evening, good night, tip your waitresses, we'll be here all week. Well, just babble for a while. You know what you call this? Showing off. You know what this is? A lonely guy. Say whatever you want to say at this point. And at that point, you are ready to join the revolution. For extra deceptiveness, I highly suggest taking one of the jokers from the pack, making a half moon cutout, using the gimmick as a template, putting double stick tape on the back of the card here, placing that on the non-post or peg side, lining it up perfectly like this. So when you remove the gimmick from the box, they think you're removing, of course, only the joker, put it away, and it's perfectly deceptive. If you put your fingers over that cutout portion. Now on the back, take another joker, place the double stick tape on the front of it, and this part's completely optional. So you've got the half moon cutout here, you've got the hole punched out there, place that over here, again, perfectly aligned, and now you've got a tight, neat little package like this. Cover this from any side that you remove it, put it away, nobody's the wiser. To give you a little bit more detail about the double stick tape, when you remove the cards from the box, notice I'm keeping pressure on the box itself, so the gimmick is up at the top, or the roof, or the ceiling, I should say, of the box, and I can simply put the whole thing away like this, or let it drop and close at the same time so they don't see that half moon cutout. So it drops, and I close it. So as far as they're concerned, that's just the joker. If you want, you can have double stick tape here as well, and that gets stuck up to the top of the box. If you did that, I would not put an extra card where the peg and post is. That's just an extra card that you don't need. That just makes the pack extra thick. You just don't need that. So put double stick tape on the gimmick itself and place that inside and against the ceiling. That way it's always in there at all times. Or if you want, instead of that being a joker, if you're not going to remove it, it's going to be permanently placed in the box, paint this white, or get a double-backed playing a blank face playing card. Just put that there, and when they look inside, they don't see anything. So those are the options. I personally prefer to remove the joker, put it away. That way I can do tricks with the cards and the box at my leisure. The only thing I have to worry about is the hole. Oh, and I should mention that. If they see a hole in the box, if they see, I say it's from doing that spin all the time. It just wore it down. And I've said that numerous times, and people go, oh yeah, you practice a lot. So turn that negative into a positive. Earlier, I talked about putting double stick tape on the card itself on the face, which goes onto the gimmick, and that of course shortens the pin or the peg. But also, you can put double stick tape on this side of the card, which serves two purposes. Number one, when you place it inside the box, the entire unit or gimmick sticks inside and on top of the box. It stays in place. That way, it doesn't rattle. When you remove the cards, everything is nice and tight there. Also, it prevents wear and tear on the hole itself. The tape keeps everything in place, and that is my double stick tape shtick. You know, I've talked about it already, but I'm going to spend a little bit more time on the preparation of the hole in the box. I have a line: if you can't hide it, highlight it. In other words, point it out first before the spectator does. Overcome the objection before it arises. If there's a hole in the box, for me, it usually doesn't matter. But sometimes, if you've got a hyper-curious spectator, they're going to wonder why there's a hole. Well, I simply point it out. I say, look, I've done this trick so many times, or this stunt so many times, I've actually worn away a hole in the box. Now look what I've done. You can't tell right now, but that's the gimmick. That's the gimmick right there. That's the half moon cutout that I was hiding with my thumb. So when I remove it, here's how it looks from the beginning. I put my thumb inside the box and on top of the gimmick itself, pushing down, and using these fingers to push the side of the box, buckling the box, making like a little tent, allowing that peg to come out of the hole, and now I can pull the entire box out, and nobody sees that. That way I can still keep covering it here, holding the entire unit like this. Underneath I'm holding the flap, that keeps it secure here. The thumb keeps it secure on top. Nothing's going anywhere, and they can feel the hole now. The peg's right about here. No one's thinking about that, obviously. They're only thinking about the hole. Now I should also mention this. I use a pen cap to push those frayed ends in. I do this in preparation way ahead of time, because when you push the peg up through the box, there's going to be some frayed edges, right? To push them down, this keeps everything nice and coalesced. Like this. Now it only looks like a hole, and it just looks more efficient that way. So push everything in, and you are ready to go. So during the routine itself, when I'm doing the spin, or after I mention the hole, I say, in here is what happens. And this is why I've worn away a hole in the box. I've got way too much time on my hands and my finger. One day I'm going to create a gimmick that you can do the same spin with your iPhone. And you can see I haven't invented it yet. There's got to be an app for that. I should also mention that the device, the gimmick itself, is used as a template to find the exact center of any box from USPCC because it has the same width and length. The only slight difference is the depth of any one of the boxes, tally-ho or bicycle, or in this particular case, the crown deck. You can experiment with other cards outside of USPCC to find the exact center, but the way it is now, this device will find the exact center when you place it in the empty box. Here's a great presentational conceit about hypnotism. So you ask them, you've been hypnotized before? And so often, especially ladies, they're like, oh, and they won't even look at you, no eye contact, because they truly believe in hypnotism. Now, we all know it's all fake, phony, and fraudulent, but that doesn't matter. As long as they buy into it, you spin the cards as a way to hypnotize them. Instead of a watch moving back and forth, you say, look, check out the circle. And this is perfect with tally-ho because of the circle right here. I say, look right there. Your eyes are getting heavy. They're getting sleepy. You will do my bidding. And done. It's official. You're now hypnotized. And I say, name a card, name any card in the deck, any playing card, boom. And they say 6 of hearts. I go, I knew that. That's the one I hypnotize you into saying. Then you go into the trick. Okay, now here's the trick. You don't know where the 6 of hearts is, but as you go by here really quickly, you notice the 6 of hearts before they do. And just as you start to see it, you do this and you cull it. And there's the culling technique. You cull it underneath, push all the other cards, the Hofstadter cull, you push it all the way to the top. That's one way to do it. Or you do a turnover pass. There's the 6 of hearts. I go through here quickly like this. I see the 6 of hearts. I turn over the cards like this, and I've got it on the top. I'm not going to go through the details of the turnover pass, but I'll give you just a quick, brief understanding. You see the 6, you close up, hold a break, and I'm going to turn over that half and then turn over that half at the same time that they transpose, and it looks like that. If you do it in full speed, there's the 6 of hearts right there, and you say your card is completely gone. And they say, what are you talking about? You didn't see it? Look. Now you go through and you spread. Spread, 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 spread. Go as slow as possible. You point out the other 6s. There's the 6 of diamonds, but the 6 of hearts is completely gone. How do I know that? Because I've got 2 cards at the end that I took a break over. I just buckled, got a 2-card break there, assuring me that when I spread all the way through, that I don't accidentally spread too far and show the 6 of hearts. So you've told them it's completely gone. And guess what? They think the trick's completely over at this point. What you do now is you top palm the top card, like this. For those who don't know the top palm, again, no details, but you push over with the pinky, that one card levers up into your palm, and on the offbeat, simply go in your pocket, take it out, and you say, and that is hypnotism. So you've used the spinning device, you've used the revolution as a hypnotic conceit or ploy just to get into another trick. So it's a good little, it's a good stepping stone or a ramp up to get into that. So that's another way to use it. Okay, here's a great trick to do with revolution so it doesn't look like you're only showing off. As I spin the cards, I'm going to have George, the cameraman, answer the questions as quickly as possible. As I spin, George, red or black?
Red.
Heart or diamond?
Diamond.
And which diamond?
7.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, done. 7 of, which one?
Diamonds.
7 of diamonds. If I go through like this, you can see 1 card and 1 card only right there. 7 of diamonds. Contrasting with all the other ones, normal, 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 all the way throughout, completely normal. That's the one, the only one that's actually completely spun out of control. But if you spin it one more time, like this, completely restored, so everything is back the way it was from the very beginning. Join the revolution. The original method for this effect was an invisible deck with every other card that was spun. Unfortunately, it would have been a graphic artist nightmare to do that. So instead, we use only 1 card that's double backer. And this is an idea by Michael Weber from a brainstorm session. So it's normal on that side, spun on this side. And as you can see, it's way too shiny and it's way too white. We did this just for a prototype purpose to do out on the streets so you could see more white. But when it's all said and done, this will look so much better than it does now. So with that in mind, this goes on the top of the pack with the spun side down like this. Everything goes inside the box with this gimmick going up. So to do that, simply put your pinky on the inside, grip it between your fingers, keeping it upwards, place everything on the inside, and it's easy to remove because that little cutout on the gimmick. So you put it away like this, you're all set like this, you're ready to go. So all I do is I ask somebody, as I spin the cards, I'm going to give it a little spin, see how long I can do it. As I spin it, name any, or just say, answer the questions as quick as possible. So, and in fact, sometimes it's okay to miss a couple times to make it look like, it's not a gimmicked peg or something like that. So if you screw up a couple times, then you finally get it, you say, quickly is the key word. Color, red or black?
Red.
Of the red, heart or diamond?
Heart.
And which heart?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, stop. Now, if you can't spin it that long, do this. And which one? 4 hearts, and stop there if it wobbles out of control. But I like the idea of going 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. Like that has something to do with it. Now, turn the whole thing over like this, hiding the peg with your left thumb, transferring it to a different grip so you're still hiding it. So from here to here, so I'm still hiding it. Open it up. This is an exposed view. Turn the whole thing over like this. Now notice how I'm holding it. So the gimmick is still uppermost against the inside of the box. I turn it over like this, still in that position. I squeeze the box so it still stays. Now it's on the bottom part. It stays coalesced so it doesn't shake. Put the whole thing away, and this flap helps to hide it in there. Put the whole thing away in your back pocket. This is now face up, and you ask them, what was your card, George?
4 hearts.
4 hearts. So I go through like this, looking for the 4 of hearts, and it's right there. At this point, I up jog, remove, turn the whole thing over, and I'm ready to go. Now, I don't like to put my left thumb this way. I just think it's more natural. Go for the 4 again. I think it's much more natural to do this. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show the backs of these cards, starting with this first one. This is very important, this grip right here, because later I'm going to square that up to have an automatic double. So let's do that again. So I say, look, normal, normal, and I've still got a grip like this. Normal, 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 normal. You don't have to go through the whole deck, but they get the idea. Now I come back, square those up. Remember, I still have a grip on here. Square those 2 up, get a break, turn that whole thing over like this, and up jog it a little bit, which makes it easier to get a double again. When I push it inward, I'm also removing these fingers, extending them out of the way so I can get an automatic break. So from the side again, look, I've got a break over those 2. Turn it over, up jog it, push down here. This lifts up that bottom edge, square it up, turn it over. Wait, did I do that backwards? So there's the 4, turn over like that. Exactly, that was right. So you show it's spun out of control, turn it back, no break again necessary. So it's coalesced, push it off, and spin it. And there's different ways to spin it. I like to do this, I call this the stunt double. Boom, you can do it with one hand and catch it with the same hand. Do it again, catch it with the other hand. That one completely missed. We'll use a stunt double. We're using 6 of diamonds now. That's why it's called the stunt double. See, I use an extra card there. Or you can do this one that I'm not too proficient at, and it spins back. So the pattern is, from the beginning, you say, look, your card is the only one spun out of control, but if I spin it again this way, it spins back to its original condition from the very beginning. Then put it back down on top of the pack, spread through, and show everything is totally and completely normal. All you have to do is get rid of this one, second from the bottom, at your leisure. So don't rush it, don't push it, and let them marinate in the moment after the first effect. Don't go to the restoration too quickly. Let them see, wow, it's spun out of control. Let them appreciate what happened. It's their card that's the only one. The one that they name is the one that got spun. And there you have it. If you want to restore the card back to its original unspun condition, there's numerous ways to do it. I call this the stunt double. looks like that. You can do what I call the flick up. It looks like that. You can do Daryl's hot shot cut. It looks like it comes right out of the center of the pack. You can do Gerald Kotsky's move that I have no idea what the name is. You can do that. You can also do the classic Audley Walsh long distance spinner that only went a short distance, so you get the idea, but if you go a little bit longer, you can actually catch it, bam, right in the pack. And if you want to show off a little bit, I prefer to catch it. Did I look cool? Was that blue steel? Did I get the look? And those are the different ways you can do it, off the top of my head. Oh, that old thing. Please be that ace of spades. Queen of diamonds! In addition to this double backer spin card, we also give you a Queen of Hearts. This is perfect for a psychological force, especially for women. You ask them to name a card, not a whole lot of equivocate necessary. If they name the Queen of Hearts, you've got yourself a miracle. You spin the cards, you open the box, you remove the deck, and you show this is the only one that's spun. Don't answer yet. There's more. If you have to repeat the trick, we'll also have the 8 of spades. So you get a choice there. Now, what I like to do, if somebody says the ace of spades, I say, okay, the 8 of spades, and you end up getting that one. What if they say, go back to the ace of spades? I'm sorry, I heard 8, you're taking 8, and you're liking it. Don't tell them it's the only one on the deck that's spun, and you'll probably be a lot more deceptive. There you have it. Have some fun, create your own forces, and let me know what you came up with. This one here, I am so reluctant to share this with you because George, the cameraman, is going to finally see how it's done. How many times did this fool you, George?
9 or 10.
9 or 10, at least. He's finally going to see how it's done. I'll give you guys a hint. Well, he already knows it requires 2 decks, but he never sees the switch. He's finally going to see the switch this time. So I show the cards in no particular order. You see red, black, 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 red, red, red. Again, no particular order. Then I take the cards, watch very closely. I guess I don't have to tell George to watch very closely because he's trained and focused right there as I place them inside the box. I'm going to do the move now. Watch the move, just a little spin like this. It needs a little bit bigger, longer spin than that. There we go. This should do it. Any second. Wait for it. Watch. George. Boom. Did you see it?
Nope.
You really didn't see it?
Did not see it.
You were mesmerized and hypnotized by the spin, and now you can see all the cards somehow, some way, went back to 1, 2, 3. As easy as 1, 2, 3. As easy as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, all in the original deck order, as well as the diamonds, as well as all the clubs, as well as all the hearts. And there you go, George. Now you know exactly how it's, now he's shaking his, you didn't catch that part, George? Did you see the switch?
Missed it.
You really didn't see it?
Did not see it.
You saw the second deck at least. I told you in advance to look for the second deck. You really didn't see it?
Did not see it.
Okay. There's a technique, it's called lying. See if he gets it just by this. Oh, come on! Come on! Come on! Can you say no skill? Cheating at the card table with no skill whatsoever. How did he get in there? Oh, club, spade, yeah. Like this. So when you turn it this way, notice that the spade is pointing upwards. This is a trick called unshuffled. I spread this way, knowing this is towards the spectator. I'm down like this, it's towards the spectator, so I know I'm going to show them all like this. Obviously, don't go more than halfway. Just spread like this. If you want, you can even spread like this to show there's no particular order. Close them up. Put the entire thing inside the box that I have in my back pocket. And if this rattles, by the way, they might just think it's the Joker. I like to keep it coalesced and registered with the top of the box. But you place it inside like this now, and you go, watch closely, don't look away. You make a big deal about focusing. Give it a big spin like this. And if you want to be real silly, talk about Superman going back in time. Boom, it's done, and everything goes back to the original order. So I take the box, put that away like this, turn them over, and now you can see, oh, I take them out like this, spread through it, and you can see now. I like to do this. Look, 1, 2, and 3, and let them think that you did just that. Like, that's pretty amazing in and of itself. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, back in their original order. Oh, you might as well go for 4, 5. Oh, see what I just did wrong? I spread too far, and I'm glad I actually did that. Got a little excited. So do 1, oh, I spread too far again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. They shouldn't see any red, obviously, like that. So boom, 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 original order, original order, original order, original order, just like this. And at the very end, you can just give it one of those for a final display. And everybody is happy, especially the cameraman. If you want unshuffled, you can get it at one of your favorite magic dealers, and it was created by Anton James. I have to tell you something. The camera's just turned off. George was going crazy. He says, oh my gosh, oh, bummer, yeah, what would you say, George?
I said I was really expecting some amazing deck switch, as you've been telling me, because I've not seen it.
He thought I was a genius at switching decks. I had all these fake explanations and moves. I gyrate over here. I do a little scoot switch. I do one at a little pit stop. He thought I switched it there. Now he just knows I have no skill whatsoever. Apparently Anton James has the skill, and I just borrowed a little. Why'd I say it like that? Okay, here's a fun little trick or bar bet with spinning a card, a single card. Now, if I could actually spin a card, the key word is if, that's about as good as I can do. It's as well as I can do right there. Now, I tell people, wouldn't that be amazing if I could do more than one card? And they go, oh yeah, that'd be pretty amazing. In fact, I'll bet you I can do the entire deck. They're like, what? Yeah, I can actually spin the entire deck for a drink. Now, here's where the bet comes in, or the ploy comes in. You turn it over, leave all the cards on the inside, give it one of those, and there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you spin the entire deck. I'll take a gin martini, extra olive. Thank you very much. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to have the actual gimmick out first. You can put another card on the outside. You don't have to have the half moon cutout. Try to say that 10 times fast. And you put the rest of the cards away. So all they see is a single playing card, and you kind of just do this a little bit. And they're kind of freaking out, especially if they don't see the metal edge over there. And you give it one of those. And that's pretty crazy, amazing in and of itself, that you can take just one single card and do that, especially when you talk to them. And moreover, even more amazing, when you're doing this at a bar, and this is some kind of sobriety test. Actually, you know what? This is way too much. This is just screaming gimmick. But long story short, holy cow, does it really go that long? I've never done this before. So you stop there and you say, wouldn't it be amazing if I could do that with more than one card? And they say, oh yeah, how about the entire deck? They go, oh yeah. So that's when you turn this over, not showing that side, or if you do have that side, just put it in like this. And I say, I will do the entire deck. Leave that inside like this, do the same thing you did before, and you go, hey, there it is, the entire deck. I'll take a vodka and a Red Bull. Thank you very much. And that's how you win your little bar bet. Is that how I'm ending now? No words? Wizard Wars.
2, 3, go.
This particular effect or stunt works perfect with anything that requires momentum in terms of spinning or whirling or anything like that. So this would be great with the Hummer card. You could do it either before or after, but one really enhances the other. It's pretty strong that way. Okay, here's a last minute idea based on a trick that I put in a book a few years ago, and it works perfect for Revolution. So here's the deal. You start off by giving the cards a little mix like this, but you do it face up and you do face down. You got one mess there, one mess there, every which way. That's big, one nasty, ugly mess. So here's the deal. George, Mr. Cameraman, I'm going to ask you to choose one of the cards, but just think about it. You can think about one of those. In your head, you can choose one of those, but it has to be one that you actually see. Any one of these, any one of these. It could be the top side, it could be the bottom side, any one. Don't tell me what it is. Don't tell me what it is. Keep it to yourself. You got it in your head?
Yep.
There's no way I could know what it is?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to try to influence you. Even though you think you've got your own choice, here's how it works. Your eyes are getting heavy. They're getting sleepy. A little hypnotism here. Here goes. Red or black?
Black.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I knew that. Club or spade?
Spade.
Of course. And which spade? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Six.
7, 8. 6? 6 of what?
Spades.
Done. Did you feel influenced?
No, not really.
You think it was your choice?
I think so.
Yeah? 6 of what?
Spades.
This is going to freak you out. This is going to freak you out. I did this to him earlier. In fact, how many times earlier?
3 times.
This is the third one. 6 of what?
Spades.
There's one card. That's the joker. That doesn't count. 6 of spades, 6 of spades, 6 of spades. Look, all the cards. Oh, did you see one? One was face up. All the cards face up. Where's it? Oh, there it is right there. Except for one card and one card only. One card and one card only. Am I building this up enough? I'm too nervous. You turn it over. Come over here. Come over here, right? 6 of what? Build it up.
Oh,
come on. Is that it?
What? Yeah, that's it.
3 in a row. 3 in a row. And now we're going to go straight into the explanation because I want a real life freaking, I'm going to just tell you what it is now because you guys both guessed it and I flat out lied.
Oh, liar.
What did you both say?
Rough
and smooth, but then I switched the deck. I did a deck switch, let you guys feel a normal deck. So what would this be called? It's not just rough and smooth, it's a...
rough and smooth with a deck switch?
It's an invisible deck. Yeah, that's it. With a deck switch. No, you don't have to switch it out. That's the beauty. So it's just an invisible deck, put the cards away, and everybody's happy. No one's going to say rough and smooth like you guys did. No one's going to... I won't have to lie in the real world, all right? I just pretend it's a regular deck. So having said that, so they're all evens on one side, all odds on the other side. Got it? Mm-hmm. And the joker, I keep on the top next to the odd card. So the joker feels like an odd card to me. That's how I always remember it. So that goes on the odd. And the one you selected was the 6, so that always goes back to where the 7 of hearts would be, which is right there. Now remember, they all add up to 13. I think everybody knows this by now. Just make sure when you spread the cards, you don't prematurely do this. In fact, I did that earlier. I'm glad I messed up actually, because when I did this, one card spread too prematurely, and that was the wrong card. And I closed it up and go, oh, did you see it? One card was face down, and I just spread past that and found the card way down over here. They're not going to remember where it was. So I'm actually kind of glad that messed up. I mean, I did that deliberately to show you guys what not to do. So again, odds on top, evens on bottom, joker next to all the odd cards. Now here's what I'm going to do. This is Jerry Andrus's slop shuffle. What makes this different than any other slop shuffle, there's no half pass necessary after the slop shuffle. Because normally slop shuffle's done with one hand doing this. Jerry Andrus is doing this, look. So the cards never go out of registration. It's a perfect false shuffle, and odds and evens stay exactly where they're at, so you don't have to reset the deck either. So I'm going to do it in real time. And I put this in a book... it's, where did I just put this? Oh my God, in a Wayne Dobson book a couple years ago. I can't remember the title. He's gonna kill me. So here's how this works. You leave the joker on the top, and that's the only one that turns face down. That's the one single card that's not rough and smooth. That turns face down. Then watch this. Now you spread over a few, and then turn this way. Remember, like I was talking about, you're going to do this the whole time. Do it about at least 6 times, because later you're going to show a whole bunch of face-up, face-down cards. If you only did that 2 or 3 times, or even 4 times, it would make no sense that you had that many face-up, face-down cards. So again, you turn over just the single card, then push over 2 or 3 or 4, maybe even 5. Now, you're going to spread the cards now. This is a Steve Bedwell idea. He doesn't do it this way in the slop shuffle the way I do it. He puts it in a cocktail shaker. Then when he's done, he spreads the cards out and shows them all face up, face down. But I like to do it in the context of the shuffle. Look, face up, face down. You can spread as you go. Don't spread too much because they're going to wonder how those got all face down as you're spreading. But if you do it in the context of a shuffle, they just see a whole bunch of face up, face down cards as you're spreading. Then, look. Now you show them really face up, face down. This is the Steve Bedwell display. This is brilliant after he removes it from the cocktail shaker. And again, I wouldn't show every single one face up, face down because you didn't do that many topsy-turvy displays, but just every few cards, every 3 or 4 cards. So, and a way of displaying it without looking like you're overtly displaying it is to say, I want you to choose any one that you see, which is a way of saying tacitly or implicitly that they're all face up and face down in every way, too. Look at that. Face up, face down there, face up, face down there. Have them think of any card that they want. Any card they want. Or the presentation could be, look, you can see they're all completely mixed up, face up, face down, face up, face down, every which way like this. Then you put the cards in the box, in your back pocket with the gimmick already in there. Gimmick's already in there. Just simply push it up to the top so it goes through the hole. Put the cards aside with the joker that's face down on the top. Always next to the ace. I always put an ace on the top, so I remember that. That's the first odd card. And remember, the gimmick now is up at the top. This is an open view. You can see how beat up this box is. I've been doing this a long time. These go underneath. Close it up. Don't let them see this peg sticking out of here. Then turn it over and do your spin. Now, if in advance I told them, think of anyone that you want that you see, that's a different presentation. If I say instead, look, face up, face down, face up, face down, now you're going to select the card, but in an unusual way. So this would be the first time that they're going to select it. That's another way to do it. So I say, as I spin, name a card, red or black?
Red.
Did you feel influenced?
No.
Good. And by the way, don't talk too long while you're doing this. Heart or diamond?
Heart.
Oh, see, and I was talking too long there. So let's do it again from the beginning. Right there. Red or black?
Red.
I knew that. Heart or diamond?
Heart.
Of course. And which heart do you want? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack. 7. 7 of what?
Hearts.
Done. Now, if you have a little extra time in the spin, you can change your mind until it drops. You can change your mind. You're going to go with a 7?
Yep.
7? Boom. Now, I know the evens are up. And the opposite of a 7 would be a 6 because everything adds up to 13. So I know you said 7 hearts. I know it's going to be 6 of spades because the opposite of a heart is a spade. The opposite of a 6 is a 7. So your cards are 7 hearts. I'm going to be looking for the 6 of spades, which is face up. I open it this way, dump all the cards out except for the joker. So you put all those away with that joker. Actually, is it with the joker? No, the joker's face up here. I'll explain the joker in a second, but your card's the 7 hearts, so I spread through like this, looking for the 6 of spades. There's the 6 of spades. That's the one that I spread out, up jog it, spread like this, and once I get to about here, that's a nice little display at the end. And I have him remove it, and that is when their head explodes, especially when they're a cameraman at Murphy's Magic who should stinking know better than this with all the magic he's seen. But, when you got a guy who lies for a living, I'm a professional liar. I get paid to lie. I lie so well, I don't know when I'm lying anymore, which could be a lie. How would I know? So I'm going to put that right back where it goes at the appropriate moment. Don't do it instantly, obviously. Just do it on the offbeat, then put it all away. Now, if he said the other way, if he said one where I had to turn up this way, say, for example, he said, 4 hearts, then I know I'm looking for the 9 of spades. So as I spread, it's okay to turn just the joker over because it's the one odd card. It's the one odd out. I say, all of them are face up except for the one. So obviously it's the spin that did it. So you might want to intimate that somewhere in the presentation. In that spin, you would say, in that spin, all the cards turned face up except for the joker. Well, there is one other one. There is one other one. Spread through like this. Keep going like this until you get to that 9. Spread that one. And that's the only one. That's the only one that didn't spin out of control. Or that's the only one that did spin out of control, depending on your presentation. Hot tip. Show it like this. Don't show it like that. And there you have it. Top of my head, Invisible Revolution. Or Revolution Revelation. I'll decide later. Oh, one other thing. I'm an idiot. I had the idea of doing a triumph with regular cards. It's my friend Matthew Dowden from England who gave me the idea to do my slop shuffle triumph that I put in the Wayne Dobson book. Can't believe I didn't think of that. In fact, he told me, I go, that's a great idea. Did I think it? I didn't think, I thought of that. I'm not good. I have to mention your name. So there you have it. Matthew J. Dowden from Newcastle. He's a Geordie. My girlfriend's a Geordie. You guys look up Cheryl Cole. If I'm going to fantasize, I'm going big. Here's another last-minute idea by Brett Braun that has to do with weighing the cards. So it's a different method. It's even a different way to get into it, but it's clearly his inception. This is fantastic. So Kyle Marlette, everybody, Kyle, cut any amount.
Any amount?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here's what you do: you place the cards inside the box and you give it a little spin. And I love this because it's all incidental. So you don't make a big deal about the spin. You just say your cards, the amount of cards you cut to, I'm going, I'll go 23. And you don't even say why the spin helps anything. You just spin it and make a,
And I do it?
yeah, and you count them yourself, 23.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
23. It's a mem deck. And I also know, if you want to do this for the bonus, I know the next card would be the 10 hearts. And they turn that over. So what you would do is say, if you want to do both effects, just doing the one effect with just the Wayne, that's good enough. But you say, look, I'm going to try to memorize the cards. And you just do this. You go through the cards. You talk about an association strategy known as mnemonics. And you're actually linking all these together in the form of a little story, and boom, I've got it. Then you give the cards to him. He cuts them, put these on the inside. You can put that amount or this amount. If it's small or large, they both work because you've got double stick tape. In fact, I might also just show you that. The gimmick's on the inside here. Double stick tape to the top here. So when the peg comes through, it's like this. The peg comes through here. So whenever you put an amount in there, large or small, everything, basically the peg doesn't go through the hole. And boom, you're able to do this. I wouldn't do it too long, just long enough you'll get the feel. And you're just kind of doing this as though you're weighing it out. Don't even say, well, you could say anything about weighing, but the spinning pretty much speaks for itself. They count the cards, what's remaining, they count the cards that are in the box. Either way, you got yourself a little winner. And what do we name that? We got to name that one. Brett helped. Brains and Brawn.
No. Double B.
Double B, top of my head. There you go. And proof that you need a little bit of practice. In closing, let me just say, you can use this any way that you want. It could be a flourish, it could be a stunt, it could be an actual trick itself with a single focus moment of astonishment. The bottom line is, though, thank you for your purchase, put in the requisite time, and go out and give it a whirl. Use any finger that you want. Make sure you get some bleeding fingers to do it. That sucked. What's a better closer? Of all the cards, you can see the 6 of hearts is right next to the gimmick. And there was a friend named Kikoa who goes like this. He says, try it on your pinky. Try it on your pinky. And I did. And you can get the Brada spin. I'll get it on this one. Oh, man. Call it the Brada spin. Oh, come. Oh, I had it perfect, right? This is not for you. It is for me. Oh, man. Let me do that whole thing one more time. Suggested doing this with the pinky. Get the Brada spin. Yo, Brada. Do it one more time. The Brada. Like this, so you can do the Brada. Oh, let's see. This is going to be worth the wait. You get the pinky like this. You get the... Oh, wait. You didn't do it right. It's a wrap. First try. So just remember to keep the cards completely square. Like 99% of the magicians. You can cut that out just before I left some space.
No. Keep that in.
No. It prevents this hole from getting a little bit larger because the more you spin it, it starts to create more. What does it create? More bigger hole. I like it. 23.5-degree orbital axis of the polar Arctic region.
Would you have to readjust differently if you were in the equator over the Arctic?
Only if Coriolis effect
Oh, okay.
is taking effect.
So it would be different depending on which side, which hemisphere you're on.
In Brazil, I have to go the other way.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's what I figured.
I still like girls, but I go the other way. If you want to keep this going as long as possible, just give it a slight little bitch slap, bitch swipe. So it's kind of like this. You give it like one of these, and just give it like, you don't want to hurt her. You just want to give it a little. Okay, let's do it again.
Love tap.
Love tap.
Love to.
Love tap.
Oh, that's a perfect spot right there. So wait for it to wobble a little bit, and just give it like a little spin, like, and we'll do it tomorrow. You're gonna take some double stick tape, and you're gonna place that over the. So look, of all the cards, none of them come out because it's so tight with all the extra gimmicks. You could have named any card you wanted, but the one you related to the best is the one that sticks completely to the card, and I don't know why. The card that you named, here's the crazy part, look, one card has spun out of control. One card and one card only that looks
the one under it.
a whole. Is there another one you can see? You suck.
All right, still rolling.
My name's Jason Brownlow. The Queen of Hearts is the only one that's spun out of control on the back and the front. That's your response? I just did a miracle. He goes, huh. Ready?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
First try.
You got that?
First try. Oh, that old thing. Did they see me catch it? Oh, that old thing. Please be that ace of spades. Queen of diamonds.
You weren't rolling?
Devon got it. Devon got it.
If you want to show off a little bit, you can catch it in that area of the room.
That's it.
I can see that.
Tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
Okay, speaking of balancing, this is a good way, look at this, to freak out the director. Wait, here we go. Okay, you ready? Speaking of balancing, here's a good way to freak out the director and the cinematographer. No, get it.
We got it.
You know, here's a great way to grab people's attention. You lower their expectations and you just say something like, you know, I don't play cards much, but when I do, I prefer a frickin' cuckoo clock in the damn background. Take, cut, print.